Islam.
It is with great pleasure and honor that I introduce a dynamic speaker who's going to lecture to us and going to inform us concerning the all great Moabite Moorish woman, the science of the number 9, the matriarch of the human family. I'm going to introduce to you without further delay Brother Tarik Bey.
Islam, thank you. Islam, Moors.
Islam.
First I want to open up, be casual and comfortable, but I want to bring a point up. In many areas of organization, you'll see us dealing with what we call family problems and social problems, economic problems, political problems, rights issues. Very often people talk to subject matters dealing with the symptoms. Rarely will they go to the cause, the root, because the root commands a change, not only with those that they're complaining about, but also with themselves. So we're going to deal today with the applied science of the number 9, which is one of the most ancient lessons of civilization on the planet Earth. It deals with the matriarchy because that is the foundation of civilization, period, on the planet Earth. There's no such thing as ancient civilization when you talk about patriarchy. It's a fraud. We also know that when people go into so-called Asiatic African history, they will usually go into it with a patriarchal mind. Automatically, the mental is polarized because it's out of harmony with truth and with nature. In other words, like this. If you got a seed and you want to grow some crop, you throw it up in the air and have a balloon or something just holding there so it can get some air and it's going to give you some crop, or do you plant it in the earth?
Plant it in the earth.
Plant it in the earth. Why? Because the earth is a womb. And if you want anything to learn, to grow, to gestate, and to come to fruition in the physical form, it must have a womb. That includes the thought, doesn't it? Isn't the thought a seed? Isn't the seed an egg? Isn't the mind a womb? So there's a feminine principle in nature that we've been ignoring, not that we didn't know about it, but because we've been made patriarchal in our mentality to the masculine principle being the superior I, i.e. God, which is a fraud. Men need not be, I would just say, threatened by truth, but they should embrace truth. Recognize, like you can have, if you have daughters and sons, right? Say you got a daughter and she's 13, 14 years old, and you got a son about 17. Mentally, they're about equal. Because women are always faster than men. Why? Because they're the first being here. Because every male has a mother. And every female has herself, her mother. And every egg is female. It's not disputable. So what came first, the chicken or the egg? They're both females. What's your argument? So you must understand nature. If you want to understand nature, you must understand nature and how things are done to understand yourself. And so if you're going to know yourself, you must acknowledge first your origin. Your birthmark, universal, is the navel. Nave implies water and navigation. Il means God. So navigating gods. And so your birthmark is a navel. Universally. It's not a strawberry, it's not a mole on your back with a hair growing out of it. It's a navel. Universal. Principally, all ancient civilizations were matriarchal. Matriarchal means government run primarily by women. Because in our time now, because we're living and we're speaking now, we relate mostly to what we know or what we've been told. And so we've been living under patriarchal systems and have no reference point, simply because books have been burned by the Christians. Literature has been burned. Artifacts have been hidden, and some that were very revealing were dumped in the middle of the ocean so that you couldn't figure this thing out. Then you were jealously protected from outsiders giving you any information. Back to what you were saying. The issue, before we go into some points about woman and using her tools, going back to the principles of our ancient fathers, you must understand the caveats. This is back to even some things that we're discussing, even with the children, babies, the birth certificate, etc. So before we talk about the birth certificates, you must know about what is the instruments that cause them or gives them the ability to make this claim of bond in the first place. So the first thing that you should be aware of is the Christian Black Codes of 1724, correct? You're aware of them, right? The 54 articles, right? Came from the church. You're aware of that, right?
No.
You're not?
New to this.
Well, let's go back a little further. Constantine the Great. Flavius Valerius Constantinus, the Roman ruler, emperor, and the authorizer and the authority of the founding, adoption, proliferation, and the propagation of the Niceno-Constantinopolitan Creed for Roman rulership on the planet Earth. That Niceno-Constantinopolitan Creed of Constantine was established over a series of years with the first major council of bishops coming together, 325 AD. Do you have an idea what that date means? 325 AD. Do you know what AD represents?
After Christ.
They tell you that. AD means Anno Domini, after domination.
Oh.
All right.
Anno
Domini. After domination. Well, who were they dominating? But you know, we don't even go there right now. What they tell you is after they lynched the Nazarene and started altering the records. So now the Niceno-Constantinopolitan Creed was drafted and established in its first form, not complete, 325 years after the Romans assassinated Yeshua ben Yosef, who they transliterated in the text as Jesus, after Zeus, the Roman god. And that name is translated into coarse Anglican language, Jesus, which is not the prophet's name, not the name his mother gave him, not the name he did his work in, not the name he went to the grave in. His name is Yahushua. People who do not understand Hebrew or the language, excuse me for a second, Islam. Now, you know that the average people out here are people, being sincere, think that Yeshua's name is Jesus, right? And they think, and a lot of them know it, all the preachers know it, they learn it when they get their ordination papers, except most of them are Masons, and they take a blood oath of death not to reveal the secrets so the church will collapse. But they know his name is Yahshua, right? However, they will never confess it publicly because they're trading a few pieces of silver to keep our people enslaved for their Roman masters who ordained them. But they tell the people that God ordained them, implying the Creator God, though the state is their God. Right now, we're going to go back to that when we talk about the marriage license too. That's where their allegiance really are. And so the thing is, the illusion is, most of the people that you trust with your babies, with yourself, with your life, are actually the vampires. This is the darkness. This is the illusion. Because what you think is not. A lot of people you think is your enemy, which you think some of the Europeans are your enemy. Some of them are your friends. Some of the people look like you that you trust is your enemy. So you must understand spirituality to really tell that.
That's right.
Although you may not trust those forms, every European is not your enemy.